My recent appearance on GB News has it's been fantastic. The emails that guys have sent me, reaching out, talking about their stories, how they feel, and the problems they have been extremely inspiring and humbling for me as well as a coach for these guys. I'm really looking forward to this year. We've got our Kingsmaker course coming up. It's going to be nothing else like this on anywhere. It was going to cover physical training, philosophy of courage, finding a way forward, creating profound meaning in one's life. So yeah, this intensified my mission, that appearance, after all the feedback I got. Of course, I got criticism, mainly from women actually. The criticism came from women about sending men down the wrong path. It's interesting because I was speaking to a client this week, a young client, and I was saying to him that the mother will always be a mother. The woman will always be a woman. So she actually, in her own way, if she's left to her own devices, she will keep her children as children, even when they're grown up. It's only a man can turn a boy into a man. And this is the problem we have, because we've got so many divorces, so many estranged fathers now that aren't doing their job. They've either opted out or they can't see their children. That's a major problem. That sometimes that's justified, in all fairness. But obviously, we're now a nation of, well, a world of men that aren't being raised by other men. We're being raised mainly by women. There's lots of broken families, and often, most cases, that the children stay with the mother. But this is not women's fault. Women are always doing their job. They are their natural nurturing. They look after their children. They're doing the same thing they always did. But the men are not involved in their children enough now. And if we understand that only a man can turn a boy into a man, then we realise the problem we have. So I was the same. When I was a young lad, my father, I never saw my father after the age of 9. I saw him very little before that, and I was left with this void within me, a void of masculinity. So I had to go out and find men that could mentor me and show me the way forward. Because despite my mother's love and best intentions, she just couldn't do that, because it's not her role to do that. It's not her purpose. So the GB News clip was really good, because the amount of young guys that reached out to me that have been in therapy, because one of my comments was that therapy doesn't work, conventional therapy doesn't work. And despite the comments, I stick by that. I stick by it because men want to feel empowered. They want an action plan, and they need to find and see proof of it in their life. Men are very physical. We can train in a specific way to facilitate courage. And a man needs to understand his dark side. He needs to get in touch with that, understand it, in order to process it and use it as a force for good. So all these things we're going to cover in the course. But without more of these courses happening, without more men coming forward helping other young guys find the way, then as a nation, we're just going to get weaker. We're just going to get more disempowered. And I think we're seeing that all over the Western world. And the implications of that are not just individual, but they're societal. In fact, they're world forming. So I think it's a worthwhile mission, and one that I'm committed to being a part of and honoured to be part of. And I encourage all guys out there, if you've been in therapy for a long amount of time and you're still feeling insecure, still feeling disempowered, look elsewhere. Look for something that's going to look at some of the ancient philosophies instead. Look at maybe Stoicism. Look at Bushido, the way of the warrior. Look at something that stood the test of time and actually growing in popularity. Or come along to us at Unlimited Courage. Have a look at our courses and what we're doing, because we're supplying something very, very different, and it's harder. It's more uncompromising, but it will lead you to where you want to go. All you need to know is you should be like forged in like steel between the hammer and the anvil. The character must be that robust, and that's what you need to know. You need to be strong, capable, and robust with a never quit mindset. Now, once you understand that, you can think, well, how you can ask the question, how do I achieve that? How do I develop a character that strong and that robust? Can you honestly say it's going to be through therapy? I don't think so. In fact, I know you won't. So you're going to have to do a lot more investigation, a lot more searching, in order to develop that sort of robustness. So it will include suffering. You will have to suffer. But you can either suffer pointlessly in a way that doesn't create any growth and just keeps you in a victimhood, or you can go out there and create some deliberate suffering that's going to forge you into something incredible. And that's a choice any man can make. And I encourage you all, any man out there that's looking for something deeper, is just understand that what you're looking for is not to get rid of your pain and get rid of your problems, but to channel them into something worthwhile. Which is why I said on the show, when Peter Hudson, my first mentor, looked at me and he said, you just got to quit whining. You just got to quit going on about your past. He said, you've got tremendous energy there. Just go and do something with it. Just go and create with it. That energy's there to be created with. Once we understand that, that's just groundbreaking. I mean, it created anger for me as a young man. I said on GB News that I pulled over on the way home and I was extremely angry. I was angry because I knew he was right. I knew he was damn well right. That no man wants to live as a victim. It may seem the easy way out, it may seem enticing, people pandering you and treading carefully around you, but ultimately it brings about the most tremendous suffering. And it's pointless suffering. And you'll always have that emptiness of, what could I have been? What could I have done? So we need to have better conversations. And one of the things somebody said to me backstage afterwards, they said, you know what you just said, we need to have better conversations. We need to step outside the box now and explore other alternatives. And I couldn't agree more. We need to not look at man's angst as simply because he can't share his feelings. What a load of rubbish. That never was true. And it's clearly not working, is it? Suicide levels have gone up again, men. Mental health problems are going up still. If it's that much of a panacea, then why isn't it working? Because that wasn't the problem. The problem is disempowerment. The problem is they were never taught as young men, as young boys, a philosophy of courage that's going to forge a life that they can really get their teeth into and find an incredible meaning from. That is what we need to go back to. And that, I think, should be the goal of every man that wants a life worth living. And that's something that I believe we could all do, and we could all support each other in changing the trajectory of, let's just all talk about our feelings, to, well, hold on a minute. How do we go about creating a character in that forge, in the heat of the forge, that we can create such a robust character? We can take it into anything we want to do, or maybe explore what we want to do for the very first time. These are conversations I want to have going forward. And I hope the guys out there will join me.